Welcome to tonight's sleep story. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and let go of the day. Allow yourself to relax and settle into a peaceful state as my voice gently guides you through a world of calm and tranquility. With each word, feel the tension slip away, leaving only relaxation and comfort. Let's drift into a soothing story together as you begin your journey into a restful and rejuvenating sleep. Imagine a world where the night remains as dark as the deepest shadows. A world where there are no city lights to guide you home, no soft glow from street lamps, no warmth from the flicker of a candle. This was the world that Thomas Edison was born into, a world that he would eventually change forever with the glow of light. But before he could shine a light on the world, Edison had to confront endless struggles and face failure after failure. It was this very challenge, the idea that something could be done better, differently, that drove him to create, to innovate, and to ultimately change the course of human history. As a young man, Edison's life was not filled with silver spoons or privilege. Instead, his early years were marked by a deep sense of curiosity and a relentless drive to learn. You can almost feel his determination, a sense that pulled him forward like a magnet as he worked on his inventions in the quiet of his makeshift laboratory. Surrounded by bits of wire, glass bulbs, and coils, Edison's mind raced with ideas, always pushing boundaries, always seeking new ways to solve problems. It was in 1869, in a small laboratory filled with the hum of experimental devices, that Edison first turned his attention to the idea that would change the world: the creation of a practical, reliable light source that could be used by people everywhere. He was drawn to the concept of electricity, intrigued by its power, its potential to illuminate homes, streets, and factories. But while others had tried and failed, Edison knew that the key was perseverance. He was determined to solve the puzzle. As he delved deeper into the science of electricity, Edison faced many obstacles. The world was skeptical of his ideas, and many dismissed the notion that electric light could ever become practical for everyday life. They believed that oil lamps and gas lights were enough, that darkness was simply part of life. But Edison's mind was never satisfied with such limitations. His resolve was like steel, cutting through the doubt that surrounded him. He knew that his invention had to be simple, affordable, and long-lasting. The light bulb could not be just another novelty. It had to be something that anyone, from a factory worker to a wealthy industrialist, could use. Edison's eyes gleamed with excitement at the thought of the possibilities. Cities and homes filled with electric light, a new era of progress and growth. In the stillness of his laboratory, you can feel the anticipation building. Edison's mind was alight with possibilities, each moment filled with the sound of wires sparking and glass bulbs shattering in his search for the right filament. The night passed like a whisper as he worked tirelessly, experimenting with hundreds of materials, each failure only fueling his determination. It was during this period of trial and error that Edison's passion truly began to shine through. Every failure became a lesson, every burned-out filament a stepping stone on the path toward success. And then, finally, after months of effort and countless sleepless nights, Edison stumbled upon the solution: a carbonized bamboo filament that could burn for hours without burning out. It was a quiet moment, yet it changed the world forever. In that instant, Edison knew that he had achieved what others thought impossible. The first practical light bulb was born, and with it, the promise of a future lit by electricity. As As you imagine this moment, you feel the weight of history pressing gently against your chest. The light bulb flickered to life, its glow casting shadows on the walls of Edison's humble laboratory. In that small room, a single light, soft, warm, and steady, was enough to illuminate an entire new world. Edison had not just created a light, he had created a revolution. This is where it all began. In a world of darkness, Edison's determination, his tireless work ethic, and his deep curiosity had led him to create a light that would shine for generations to come. As the light from the first successful bulb flickered on, there was a stillness in the room, a moment of clarity, of quiet triumph. Thomas Edison stood there, staring at the glow, his mind racing with the magnitude of what he had just achieved. This wasn't just a light bulb. This was the beginning of a new era, a world that would never be the same again. The possibilities were endless. Cities could be illuminated, factories could operate at night, homes could be brighter, safer, and more comfortable. In that instant, Edison realized that his life's work had only just begun. He had cracked the code, but the road ahead would be filled with just as much struggle and perseverance as the long months leading to this breakthrough. Yet, despite the jubilation he felt, Edison knew this wasn't the end of his journey. The world was not yet ready to accept this new invention. People were skeptical. The technology was untested and the applications seemed too far-fetched. Some even doubted that the electric light could ever replace the existing sources of illumination, like oil lamps and gas lights. Edison's greatest challenge was ahead. He had to prove that this light was not only viable, but essential. The first step in this mission was to create a reliable electrical system that could power the light bulb. Edison knew that without a way to distribute electricity safely and affordably, his invention would remain nothing more than a novelty. So, he set his sights on a new goal: creating a centralized power grid, one that could provide electricity to homes and businesses on a larger scale. It wasn't enough to simply invent the bulb. He had to create an entire system that could make this new form of light accessible to everyone. The task was immense, but Edison was relentless. He began planning the construction of the first electric power plant, a place where electricity would be generated, stored, and distributed to the surrounding area. He was not just an inventor, he was also a visionary, thinking beyond the immediate and imagining a world where electricity was as common as sunlight. Edison faced fierce competition and opposition. Other inventors, such as Nikola Tesla and George Westinghouse, were pushing for their own methods of electric distribution. The tension between direct current, DC, which Edison championed, and alternating current, AC, backed by Tesla and Westinghouse, created fierce rivalry in the early days of the electric industry. Edison's belief in his vision of direct current as the standard for the future of electricity made him stubborn, and he believed that his approach was the safest and most effective. As he worked tirelessly to bring his vision to life, Edison also battled skepticism from the public and the industry. Many doubted that his electric grid would work at all, let alone be reliable enough to power entire cities. Yet, every setback only fueled Edison's determination to prove them wrong. He knew that the path to success was filled with obstacles, but each failure only brought him closer to the breakthrough he sought. Months of planning, testing, and construction culminated in the grand moment: the lighting of Pearl Street Station in New York City, the first power plant designed to provide electricity to homes and businesses. On that historic night, Edison's system was ready to power the city, and it did. The lights flickered on for the first time, casting their warm glow over the streets, bringing a sense of wonder and awe to all who saw it. You can almost feel the excitement and nervousness that Edison must have felt in that moment. His dream had become a reality. The first electric grid was born, and with it, a new age of progress and innovation. The world would never again be the same. That single light bulb had sparked a revolution, and Edison's vision was finally taking shape. As Edison's electric grid began to glow across New York City, the world started to take notice. What had once been a distant dream for him, an impossible vision of a world illuminated by artificial light, was now a tangible, functioning reality. The streets that had been dark and dangerous after sunset were now bathed in a warm, steady glow. People marveled at the power of light, a light that was no longer subject to the whims of oil lamps or the unpredictability of gas-powered flames. This was the start of something bigger than Edison could have ever imagined. His vision was beginning to take hold, and the world was changing before his eyes. But Edison knew that while his invention had transformed a single city, it could not stop there. He had seen the potential for electricity to change the fabric of society, to reshape cities, economies, and even lives. His dream was not just to light New York, but to light up the world. To do so, he had to ensure that his system could be scaled, adapted, and implemented on a global scale. It was clear that Edison wasn't just inventing a light source. He was laying the foundation for an entire new infrastructure that would power the future. Edison understood that for his electricity system to truly transform society, he needed to create something more than just the light bulb and the grid. He needed to create a business and a movement. With this in mind, he established the Edison Electric Light Company, the first company dedicated to providing electric power to the masses. The creation of this company marked a critical turning point in Edison's life. He wasn't just an inventor now, but a business leader, a visionary who would shape the very industries of tomorrow. Yet Edison wasn't alone in his quest. As the electric industry began to grow, Edison found himself at odds with others who sought to capitalize on this new technology. One of the most formidable competitors was Nikola Tesla, a brilliant inventor in his own right, who believed in a different method of electricity distribution, alternating current, AC. Tesla, supported by businessman George Westinghouse, had a vision for electricity that clashed with Edison's own. The stage was set for a bitter rivalry that would come to be known as the War of Currents. The battle between direct current, DC, championed by Edison, and alternating current, AC, backed by Tesla and Westinghouse, was more than a technical disagreement. It became a battle of ideologies, of visions for the future. Edison, with his direct current system, believed that the simplicity and safety of his approach made it the better choice. But Tesla, with his alternating current, saw a future where electricity could be transmitted over long distances, providing power to more people at a lower cost. As the conflict escalated, Edison became increasingly stubborn in his stance, defending his invention to the bitter end. He believed in his system with an unwavering conviction, but he was soon facing mounting challenges. Westinghouse and Tesla's system was more efficient, and over time, it became clear that alternating current was the better long-term solution. Despite Edison's valiant efforts, the War of Currents ended in defeat for Edison and his direct current system. It was Tesla's vision that would become the global standard. Despite the setback, Edison's legacy did not fade. His invention of the light bulb had already changed the world, and his contributions to the development of electricity were undeniable. Even though alternating current became the dominant method for power transmission, Edison's work laid the foundation for the electrical age. His visionary work had sparked a revolution that would continue long after his rivalry with Tesla had ended. As you think back on Edison's journey, you can't help but feel a sense of admiration for his relentless persistence. His ability to envision the future, to see a world lit by electricity, pushed him to create something that no one thought possible. And while his battles with competitors were fierce, Edison's legacy as the father of electric power remains firmly rooted in history. As the years passed, Thomas Edison's achievements rippled through the world, changing not just the way people lived, but how they thought about progress itself. While the war of currents had settled in favor of alternating current, Edison's work in electricity, invention, and industry continued to echo through history. His relentless pursuit of betterment had not only illuminated homes, but had paved the way for a new world of possibilities. The streets of New York, the bustling centers of commerce, and the growing cities of the world were now lit by Edison's vision. And this light had become a symbol of the future, growth, and endless opportunity. As you reflect on Edison's impact, it's clear that his vision went beyond just electricity. Edison was a pioneer, constantly seeking ways to improve the world, whether by inventing a phonograph, a device that would bring music to the masses, or creating the foundations of the modern motion picture industry. Edison was not just a man of his time, he was a man ahead of it, with the ability to see a future others could not even dream of. Edison's company, the Edison Electric Light Company, grew rapidly, powering homes and businesses across the United States. The light bulb became a staple in everyday life, and the idea of electricity being available at the flick of a switch was no longer a far-fetched dream, but a part of everyday reality. The satisfaction of knowing that the world was changing for the better, thanks to the efforts of inventors like Edison, is a quiet triumph you can feel. Edison's light didn't just illuminate the physical world, it illuminated the path for future generations of innovators, thinkers, and dreamers who would continue to shape the world. Despite the eventual dominance of AC, Edison's direct current systems still held relevance for many decades. He had created not only the infrastructure for the electrical revolution, but also a vision for how technology could improve lives. His legacy wasn't just in the wires that carried electricity to homes, but in the way he had redefined human potential. The empowerment that came with access to electricity, the ability to light homes, fuel factories, and keep the wheels of progress turning, was an integral part of the modern world. It is impossible to think of the modern age without acknowledging Edison's influence, the immense force of his inventions, and the way they transformed every aspect of life. As Edison's company grew, he was able to turn his attention to new pursuits. Yet, his mind never stopped working, always in search of new ways to improve the world. His inventions reached far beyond the electric light, bringing forth devices that would change music, entertainment, and even communication. The phonograph, which recorded and played sound, would set the foundation for the modern music industry. The motion picture camera paved the way for film and media, forever changing how stories were told. These contributions, born from the same curiosity and passion for improvement that led him to the light bulb, proved that Edison's legacy was not limited to one moment of innovation, but to an entire lifetime of transformative ideas. Edison's legacy, in many ways, became an embodiment of the American spirit, a spirit of innovation, self-reliance, and unwavering perseverance. He faced obstacles that seemed insurmountable, and yet, his vision and determination propelled him to overcome them. When you think about Edison's contributions, you can feel a deep appreciation for the profound way his work has shaped the world. The idea of a world where light is ever present, where communication and entertainment are within reach at any moment, all started with one man's dream to create a brighter future. As you sit in the soft glow of modern-day lights, it's impossible not to feel a sense of awe at the enduring impact of Edison's vision. What started as a single, flickering bulb has now become a global phenomenon, illuminating the world, fueling industries, and powering the human spirit. From his early days of experimentation to his rise as one of the greatest inventors in history, Edison's journey reminds us that vision, dedication, and a little bit of light can change the world in ways we could never have imagined. As the world continued to change around him, Edison's work didn't just stop with the light bulb. His legacy grew in ways that he could never have imagined, far beyond the bright lights he had brought to the streets of New York. Invention became his way of life, an endless pursuit to improve not only the things that existed, but also to push the boundaries of what was possible. Edison was not content with simply lighting the world. He wanted to transform it, to create systems, machines, and devices that would enable humanity to reach heights never before achieved. Through the Edison Electric Company, his company's influence spread far and wide. Cities embraced electricity as the backbone of their growth, fueling new industries and changing the daily lives of people around the globe. But even as Edison celebrated his success, he knew that the future could never be static. The very system that had made his name, the electrical grid, was just the first step. The world needed more than just light. It needed innovation at scale. He didn't just want to light homes, he wanted to light up the world in every way possible. In the heart of Edison's laboratory, where light bulbs, wires, and machines hummed in quiet harmony, his next big dream began to take shape: the development of the motion picture. Through his determination and genius, he set out to create the very first motion picture camera, a device that would capture movement and sound in a way that had never been done before. As he worked tirelessly, experimenting with film and sound, Edison realized the transformative potential of film. It wasn't just an invention for entertainment. It was a new medium for storytelling, capable of capturing human experience in ways that would forever change how we understood art, culture, and history. The creation of the motion picture was a true embodiment of Edison's creative drive. This invention would later become the foundation for the film industry, giving rise to the modern movie industry that entertains billions around the world today. You can imagine the excitement Edison must have felt as the first images were projected, the first scenes captured on film, a moment that defined a new era of storytelling, one that brought emotions, imagination, and human expression to life on the screen. Yet, despite the monumental success of his inventions, Edison faced challenges from rivals. His competition, particularly from men like Nikola Tesla and George Westinghouse, was fierce. They had their own visions for electricity and technology, and Edison found himself constantly fighting to maintain his place as a leader in the world of invention. The war of currents between Edison's direct current, DC, and Tesla's alternating current, AC, was a bitter, high-stakes battle. For Edison, the conflict became a symbol of his determination to prove that his vision was the right one. And yet, despite the passion and effort he poured into his work, he ultimately saw AC prevail. Despite this loss in the war of electricity, Edison's resilience never faltered. Instead of retreating into defeat, he doubled down on his other projects, pouring his energy into new technologies that would leave their mark on the future. You can sense Edison's determination. He was a man who, even when faced with adversity, found ways to bounce back, always looking forward, always innovating. Even as others claimed victory in the war of electricity, Edison's legacy was undeniable. His contributions to the world of electricity, communication, and entertainment remain integral to the way we live today. He changed the way we connect with one another, the way we consume information, and the way we experience the world around us. Edison's vision sparked revolutions in multiple industries, and his relentless drive continued to fuel advancements that have shaped the modern world. Through all his trials and triumphs, Edison's true genius lay not just in the inventions he created, but in his ability to see possibilities where others saw impossibilities. His ability to dream, to envision a world where light wasn't just a luxury, but a standard, and where technology could reshape reality. These qualities made him a man ahead of his time. As you sit here today, under the glow of modern electric lights, you are a witness to the enduring power of Edison's vision, his unyielding spirit, and his desire to make the world a better, brighter place. Edison's legacy continues, glowing in the light of every bulb and in every innovation that follows. As the years went by, Thomas Edison's impact on the world only deepened. His name became synonymous with innovation, and yet he was far from done. Despite the fierce competition and the ever-evolving nature of technology, Edison's drive to explore, to create, and to change the world never wavered. He knew that the future was not for those who rested on their laurels, but for those who looked ahead, questioned the status quo, and relentlessly pursued progress. The same spirit that had driven him to invent the light bulb, the phonograph, and the motion picture camera now fueled his quest for the next great breakthrough. Even as his body grew older, Edison's mind remained as sharp as ever. He continued to experiment in his laboratory, dreaming up ideas that spanned across industries, from sound recording to storage batteries to even the development of electric vehicles. Edison's vision was boundless, and his curiosity knew no limits. Every new invention was an opportunity to shape the world into something greater, something more connected, something more efficient. And in every success, every setback, and every new invention, Edison's determination to improve the world through science and technology was evident. But Edison was more than just an inventor. He was also a philosopher of progress, a man who believed deeply in the potential of humanity to improve, to create, and to evolve. He often said, "Genius is 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration." These words were not merely a reflection of his work ethic. They were a mantra for his life. Edison didn't wait for ideas to come to him. He worked tirelessly, tested relentlessly, and never let the fear of failure keep him from exploring new avenues. Through the years, His lab became more than just a place of work. It was a sanctuary of possibility, where the brightest minds gathered to think, to collaborate, and to build the future. Edison's work attracted young inventors and dreamers from all walks of life, and through his mentorship, he became a guide for the next generation of scientific pioneers. His laboratory at Menlo Park became a crucible of innovation, where the very future of technology was molded by those who believed in the power of human ingenuity. One of Edison's most important contributions was his ability to commercialize his inventions, ensuring that the incredible technologies he created would have a lasting impact on society. Through his entrepreneurial spirit, Edison transformed his ideas into businesses that reached beyond the laboratory. He helped found some of the world's most influential companies, from the General Electric Company to the Edison Illuminating Company, ensuring that his inventions could be implemented on a grand scale. He understood that a great idea was only as powerful as the ability to bring it to the people, to make it accessible and useful to all. In doing so, Edison didn't just leave behind a legacy of inventions. He also helped shape the modern business landscape. He was a pioneer, not only in technology, but also in creating the infrastructure necessary to support these advances. His role in establishing the electric utility industry would reverberate for generations to come, creating new industries, fostering innovation, and empowering the economies of nations. As you think of Edison's legacy today, it's impossible not to see how deeply his work has impacted every aspect of modern life. From the lights that brighten our homes to the technology we use every day, Edison's fingerprints are everywhere. His inventions laid the foundation for an era of rapid technological progress, and the world-changing innovations of today still owe much to his visionary spirit. Even in his later years, when he faced the pressures of competition and the challenges of new technologies, Edison continued to push forward, determined to leave the world better than he found it. He never stopped believing in the power of innovation, and that belief carried him through to the end of his life. In his final years, Edison took great pride in knowing that his work, his contributions, would continue to inspire the next generation of thinkers, dreamers, and doers. Edison's legacy lives on in every light that illuminates the dark, every machine that hums to life with the power of electricity, and every innovation that continues to shape the world. His work was not just about creating inventions, it was about creating a future in which possibilities were endless, and human ingenuity was free to flourish. As the world moves forward, Edison's vision still guides us, reminding us that the pursuit of progress is a journey that never ends. As you sit in the quiet warmth of the modern world, filled with light, sound, and the power of technology, remember that this world was shaped by the vision of a man who refused to stop dreaming. Edison's story is not just one of inventions. It is the story of determination, creativity, and the belief that no matter how great the challenge, the future is always within reach for those willing to work for it. As the decades passed, the world continued to evolve, and the inventions of Thomas Edison reverberated across time. His contributions, though rooted in the past, shaped the course of the future. The industries he helped create, from electric power to motion pictures, would go on to influence generations. Edison's vision was not confined to the technologies of his time. It transcended his inventions and reached into the very fabric of modern society. He didn't just provide a light to illuminate the darkness. He ignited a spark that would continue to burn brightly for centuries. In the years following his major breakthroughs, Edison's influence expanded beyond the confines of his laboratory and business ventures. His pioneering spirit paved the way for others to believe in the impossible and to embrace innovation as the key to progress. The ripple effects of his innovations were felt in almost every industry, from communication to entertainment, from medicine to transportation. Edison's drive to change the world was embedded in every corner of modern life. One of Edison's most profound legacies lies in the way he approached invention itself. While many inventors focus solely on a single technological breakthrough, Edison saw the bigger picture. He understood that innovation did not exist in isolation. It was part of a larger web, interconnected and interdependent. Edison's approach was holistic. He didn't just invent a light bulb. He built the systems that would allow it to function on a global scale. He didn't just create a phonograph. He transformed the very way the world would experience music. Edison's work was a catalyst for the interdependence of technologies, creating networks of innovation that would influence every aspect of life. As the world entered the 20th century, Edison's influence continued to shine. His name became synonymous with genius and creativity, and his work became the standard for others to aspire to. But it wasn't just his inventions that were significant. It was the way Edison approached the process of innovation that made him one of the greatest visionaries in history. His relentless drive, his willingness to experiment, and his belief in the power of perseverance to overcome obstacles became the very essence of what it meant to be an inventor. In this sense, Edison didn't just leave behind a legacy of physical inventions. He left behind a legacy of inspiration. And yet, as the world moved forward, Edison wasn't content to rest on his laurels. In his later years, he continued to search for ways to innovate, to expand on his previous successes. New technologies emerged, and while Edison's direct influence on some of them waned, his spirit of discovery and improvement lived on. He remained a mentor to the next generation of inventors, fostering an environment of creativity and collaboration that would continue to shape the course of history. Even in his later years, when faced with the rise of alternating current and the growing competition from Nikola Tesla and Westinghouse, Edison remained undeterred. He was often seen as a symbol of the old guard, standing firm in his belief that direct current was the future of electrical power. And though the world eventually adopted alternating current as the dominant standard, Edison's resilience, his refusal to give up on what he believed in, only added to his mythic status. As you reflect on Edison's contributions, you realize that his influence was not limited to just the light bulb or electricity. His vision encompassed an entire future where technology could bridge divides, solve problems, and improve the human experience. Edison's work wasn't just about creating products. It was about creating opportunities, shaping a world where innovation became the driving force of progress. Looking at the modern world, it's impossible not to see Edison's fingerprints on nearly every aspect of daily life. From the electricity that powers our homes to the motion pictures that entertain us, the world Edison helped build continues to grow and evolve. But perhaps more than anything, it is his spirit of innovation that has had the most profound impact. It is this spirit that continues to inspire the great inventors of today and tomorrow, the minds who will carry the torch of progress into the future. Edison's legacy is not just in the technologies he created, but in the way he transformed the world's view of what was possible. He showed the world that dreams, when coupled with hard work and determination, could change the course of human history. Today, his name stands as a testament to the power of innovation, vision, and the endless possibilities that come when one person dares to dream. As you sit in the quiet of the night, illuminated by the light Edison brought into the world, you are reminded of the endless potential that lies within us all. Like Edison, we too have the ability to change the world, to dream, to create, and to leave behind a legacy that will continue to inspire generations to come. With Edison's light shining across the world, his influence began to stretch beyond the borders of his immediate inventions. The age of electricity, once a mere idea, had become the driving force behind the modern world. As cities and towns lit up with the electric glow of his light bulbs, industries began to shift, powered by the steady hum of electrical current. Factories that once halted with the setting sun now operated around the clock. A revolution in production that would lay the foundation for the technological age to come. Edison didn't just invent light. He invented a world powered by innovation, a world where progress could never be stopped. The electric grid spread beyond New York City, touching every corner of the United States and beyond. In every home, in every street, Edison's dream of light was now a reality. The cities, once dim and silent at night, now thrummed with the energy of progress, the glow of artificial light symbolizing a new dawn for mankind. The world seemed to pulse with the promise of new opportunities. The future had arrived, and it was illuminated by Edison's vision. But the impact of Edison's work didn't stop at electricity. As his ideas spread, they touched every facet of life. The phonograph became a staple of entertainment, allowing people to listen to music, stories, and news from the comfort of their homes. His innovations in motion pictures laid the groundwork for an industry that would come to shape culture for generations. Edison's inventions didn't just create new technologies, they created new experiences, new ways for people to interact with each other, with the world around them, and with the stories that would define their lives. Even as other technological marvels began to rise, Edison's work remained foundational. The telegraph, telephone, and other communication breakthroughs built on the electrical infrastructure Edison had created. Electricity became the lifeblood of progress, powering not just machines, but the imagination of every person who dared to dream. Edison's visionary mind had created a world where anything seemed possible. Yet, despite his many triumphs, Edison's journey was far from easy. The competition was fierce, and the world of invention was full of hurdles. One of his most enduring rivals, Nikola Tesla, held different ideas about how electricity should be distributed. Their famous rivalry came to symbolize the tension between different visions of the future. Edison, who believed in direct current, DC, and Tesla, who supported alternating current, white AC. The competition became known as the War of Currents, with Edison tirelessly defending his beliefs, while Tesla and his partner, George Westinghouse, promoted the alternative. Though Edison's direct current system ultimately lost out in the war, his legacy didn't falter. It was a setback, but it wasn't the end of his vision. Edison's true strength lay not just in the successes he achieved, but in his refusal to give up in the face of adversity. The battle between DC and AC was just one of many obstacles he would face throughout his career. But it was Edison's ability to innovate, to adapt, and to persist that ensured his place in history as one of the greatest inventors the world has ever known. In his later years, Edison's work became more expansive, reaching into industries like automobiles and radio. But even as new technologies emerged, his foundational contributions to electricity, communication, and energy continued to shape the modern world. Edison's spirit of innovation became the driving force for the next generation of inventors and creators who would carry forward his work into the 20th century and beyond. As you look back on Edison's incredible journey, you can feel the weight of his contributions. His inventions didn't just make life easier, they changed the course of history. The light he brought into the world didn't just illuminate the streets, it illuminated the path to the future. A future where technology could bring people closer, where progress would know no bounds, and where the dream of a better tomorrow was always within reach. Edison's vision continues to light the way for all who dare to dream and to create, ensuring that his legacy will never fade, but will forever shine brightly, lighting the world for generations to come. As Edison's contributions began to resonate across time, it became increasingly clear that his impact wasn't just confined to the late 19th and early 20th centuries. His work laid the foundation for the electric revolution that would continue to shape the modern world in ways he could never have fully foreseen. While his rivals, like Tesla and Westinghouse, may have won battles in the war of currents, Edison's vision for a world powered by electricity continued to influence the world long after the dust had settled. The legacy of his inventions grew beyond their immediate applications, becoming the very backbone of industrial, cultural, and social progress. Electricity, the lifeblood of modern civilization, was no longer a mere convenience, but a necessity, woven into the very fabric of daily life. Edison's early grid systems, though largely obsolete today, set the stage for the vast, complex infrastructure that powers cities across the globe. His vision was now a universal reality, lighting homes, fueling industries, and enabling the modern world to function around the clock. Edison's invention of electric light, for instance, had redefined time, giving humanity control over the day and night, ushering in a world of non-stop productivity and creativity. As time marched forward, the electric age Edison had sparked expanded into new and unexpected territories. It was as if Edison had opened a door to a world of endless possibility, one that would allow other pioneers to enter and continue his work. His influence was no longer just about light or power. It was about human potential, about the ways in which technology could transform society and raise the quality of life for billions of people. As his inventions paved the way for further advancements, his early breakthroughs became a catalyst for progress across all industries. From medicine and transportation to communication and entertainment. Yet, despite the ongoing changes in the world and the challenges brought about by new technologies, Edison's legacy remained as powerful as ever. Even in the face of rivals, evolving science, and the shifting tides of technological change, Edison had secured his place in history as one of the most influential inventors of all time. His work not only changed the way we live, but also shaped the way we think about invention, as something that is not just the result of chance, but of will and dedication. Edison's genius lay in his ability to recognize what could be, and his commitment to making it real. In later years, as his physical health began to decline, Edison's thoughts turned toward the future, and he expressed his belief in the next generation of inventors. It was this spirit of innovation that lived on in the countless individuals who followed in his footsteps. Edison had always said, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration." It was a mindset that encouraged all who looked to him as a mentor to continue, no matter how many failures or setbacks were faced. To Edison, every mistake was simply another opportunity to learn. Edison's influence extended beyond his immediate circle and into the hearts of countless young inventors, engineers, and dreamers. His legacy wasn't just about the machines and systems he created. It was about the inspiration he provided to future generations. He showed them that with hard work, vision, and a relentless desire to improve the world, anyone could make their mark. His unwavering pursuit of innovation pushed society toward progress, inspiring humanity to take ownership of its future, to shape it with technology, and to turn impossible dreams into tangible realities. Today, as you sit in a world illuminated by Edison's light, powered by his inventions, and connected through technologies that would not exist without his spirit of innovation, you realize that Edison's vision is not confined to the past. It continues to evolve and shape the world. From the light that fills our homes to the innovations that drive our industries, Edison's legacy lives on in the lives of millions. And just as Edison once illuminated the streets of New York, he continues to light the way forward for the generations that will come after him. His work has set the stage for endless possibilities. And while his time on Earth may have come to a close, his influence endures, embedded in every discovery, every breakthrough, and every new dream that will one day light the world. As the soft hum of modern electricity powers your home and connects the world around you, remember the man who dared to dream of a world where the night could be as bright as the day. Edison's legacy, built upon perseverance and vision, remains a guiding light, reminding us that with hard work, determination, and innovation, the future is always within reach. As you reflect on Thomas Edison's incredible journey, it's clear that his legacy extends far beyond the bright lights he once brought into the world. His vision, his persistence, and his unyielding drive to improve the human condition have shaped the very way we experience the world today. Edison's work was not just about electricity, it was about creating possibilities, about showing the world that no dream is too big, no idea too impossible, as long as we are willing to work tirelessly toward it. His light bulb may have been the beginning, but it was his unrelenting spirit that inspired others to follow in his footsteps, to push the boundaries of what could be achieved. The legacy of Edison is woven into the fabric of modern life. From the bright electric lights that illuminate our cities to the technologies we use every day, the electric revolution he started continues to power homes, fuel industries, and connect the world in ways he could not have imagined. His contributions to communication, entertainment, and medicine have paved the way for the modern world. He did not simply invent things. He laid the foundation for a future that was built on possibility. Even as the years passed and new technologies emerged, Edison's determination continued to inspire. New inventors followed in his footsteps, standing on the shoulders of the giant that was Edison. His influence ripples through time. With each new breakthrough, each new discovery, each small light that continues to shine brightly in the world today. From the depths of silence to the edges of space, Edison's spirit of innovation still burns, lighting the path forward for those who seek to change the world. In his later years, Edison reflected on the incredible progress humanity had made, and how far the world had come from those dark nights when people could only dream of artificial light. He lived long enough to witness the world embrace electricity and technology, to see how his inventions had transformed society and improved lives across the globe. It must have been incredibly fulfilling for him to see that the world was no longer held captive by darkness. It was, instead, a world filled with light, a light that he had sparked. But Edison never saw himself as just a man of inventions. He was a man who believed in the future, in the limitless potential of the human mind to create, to discover, and to evolve. His legacy was built not only on his innovations, but on his unwavering belief that through creativity, the world could always be made better. Even in his final days, Edison remained an optimist, constantly looking forward, envisioning new ways to improve the world. As you sit beneath the soft glow of modern lights, remember the dreamer who made it possible. Edison's work was more than just a string of inventions. It was a blueprint for progress, a reminder that anything is possible if you are willing to work for it. Every light that flickers on today, every spark of electricity that powers our lives, is a tribute to the legacy of innovation that Edison left behind. His influence is in every electric street lamp, in every device that keeps us connected, in every discovery that continues to reshape the world. Even as time marches forward, Edison's legacy endures. The world he illuminated continues to evolve, just as his vision did. Edison's inventions may have sparked the electrical age, but it is his enduring spirit of innovation that continues to power the world, lighting the way for the inventors, dreamers, and creators of tomorrow. As you rest, surrounded by the light Edison made possible, let it be a reminder that innovation has no bounds, that every spark of imagination can light the way to a better future. And as the world rests beneath the glow of Edison's dream, remember that the pursuit of progress is a journey that never ends.